what wide receivers benefit the most from this move?
I would say Jalen Polk is an obvious one because he and Drake have been working together and getting to know each other since they first got to Foxboro. Demario Douglas, who Drake Maye likened to Josh Downs, who was his best receiver when Maye had his first career season as a starter at UNC. And then Kayshon Boutte, another guy who's spent a ton of time with Drake Maye in the preseason and then in practices. The main personnel groupings were Javon Baker, Jalen Polk, and then Kayshon Boutte with like Pop mixing in a little bit. So Boutte has been building every week. He's getting better and better, which has been really cool and exciting to see. It's first as a blocker. He's getting like 1 or 2 targets a week, but they've been more impressive as the weeks have gone on. And as someone who's practiced with Drake a decent amount, I'd imagine that he'll be pretty active. And someone that Drake is going to have a level of confidence in as well. So really those young receivers, I think, are going to have the most benefit. Like Austin Hooper and Hunter Henry, Gibson, Mondre, they'll get their touches. Yeah. But I think it's the youth movement that's really like, what was I saying all the way like when Drake got picked in like in the spring? I was saying if 3 of their young players can play significant snaps and do well, I think it actually makes the offense a little bit scarier and something you need to respect. Polk, we've seen flashes. Maye, we haven't seen anything in real game action, so TBD. But I do like at least that the offense is starting to put guys out there who we could see working with Drake Maye for the next 3-4 plus years.
Yeah, I'm super excited about Boutte. I think he was great the other night. I thought the way he blocked as well was pretty huge. Just as far as like a guy who just goes out there and wants to win and doesn't care about himself. And people have wondered a little bit about Kayshon Boutte's attitude and the off the field stuff with him, and the things that happened down at LSU and whatnot. But he proved to me last week that he wants to go out there, catch footballs, block his ass off, and win football games. So that was really good to see. And you mentioned too that those guys have sort of worked together as that sort of second group wide receiver quarterback. So hopefully they can bring that to the first team. The other youth movement player, though, Taylor, is Javon Baker. We haven't touched on him, but we do have a question on him. And you touched on it earlier that we're going to talk about it. So does this get Javon Baker on the field? Again, Mayo preaches playing the young guys and that they get better by playing. So what does this mean for Javon Baker? And also, does Tyquan Thornton's snaps continue to fall? What do you make of the rest, I guess, of the wide receiver room?
Tyquan Thornton played, I think, 1 snap last week.
Yeah, he did.
He's pretty much out of the rotation. He was replaced at X by Jalen Polk, with Kayshon Boutte taking over for Polk as the Z. Well, Polk and KJ. Now, KJ has a shoulder injury. I don't know how serious it is and if that's why. He was inactive. I don't know if that's necessarily the reason because Kayshon Boutte's already kind of been on the rise.
Yeah.
So for the 2 veterans, KJ, especially with Kendrick Bourne, I don't see him having a very significant role in the offense moving forward. He didn't do much with the time he was on the field as a receiver, unfortunately, either. Javon Baker, it's the same deal, y'all. Like, if he's not playing or not getting opportunities, and now we've seen it with Kayshon Boutte, so it's not even like, remember with Boutte, we were at least saying, like, why aren't they giving him chances? And then it was weird because it's like, well, this is a talented kid. You put him at X where he shouldn't be, and then he couldn't get his feet in bounds. And instead of maybe giving him more chances or more ideal situations, you benched him. And we didn't know if it was behind the scenes or what, but that was a situation where I figured maybe he's not doing enough on the field. Now we've seen Kayshon Boutte rise up the ranks and get more snaps. And we've literally heard Alex Van Pelt, I believe it was, say that Javon needs to earn the trust of the coaches. He needs to earn the trust of quarterbacks. He needs to line up the right way. He needs to run the right routes. You cannot, you need to get better on the field. You need to do the bare minimum, though, to get on the field. The bare minimum is doing enough that people don't think they have to worry about you if they send you out. And that's unfortunately what it seems like Javon Baker is for the offense right now. Y'all know I'm a huge Javon Baker fan. His talent's out of this world. Alex Van Pelt praised him for being able to get open and being able to make plays at the catch point. But you got to earn it, and I don't think he's earned it yet.
You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Hey, sign up today. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game. There's nothing like seeing a game live. I mean, watching it on TV is great. We have all the technology. We have our phones. We have access to everything. But being there in person is definitely the way to go. GameTime has a new feature called GameTime Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. GameTime filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it? It's game time.
You sort of had me come back on my Javon Baker take. Yeah, my Javon Baker bake. A little bit last night when we talked about it on the crossover, where I mentioned Javon Baker as a guy who, you're continuing on to this youth movement, and these guys have worked together a little bit. Maybe they give him a chance with Drake Maye. But you mentioned it to me last night, where if he doesn't know what he's doing on the field, then that's just going to hurt Drake Maye even more. You need everybody around Drake Maye doing exactly what they have to do so you don't hinder his development anymore, where he could drop back and hit his back foot, and he could look to a guy and think that Javon Baker's supposed to be there and he's not. And so that's the kind of stuff that you want it to be as perfect as it can be around Drake Maye. We already worry about the offensive line a little bit right now, and so you want at least the receivers to be going in the right place and knowing what they're doing. So if Javon Baker can't do that, it doesn't really matter how much and how easily he gets open, right? If he's not in the right place at the right time and isn't on the same page as Drake Maye, it's just going to hurt not only Maye, not only Baker, but the offense as a whole.
And then think of this example really quickly. So Derek Stingley Jr., they're facing this weekend.
Yep.
What if Javon Baker is running a curl against a player of that caliber in Stingley, who if you make a mistake, he's going to pick it off. Yep. Say Javon Baker runs a curl and adds one more step than he's supposed to, literally just one. That could turn into a pick six.
Yep.
Because Drake's going to throw it when he thinks the receiver's coming back to him. That one step gives Stingley the advantage to be able to attack the ball without being contested. And then you're on the sideline. That's going the other way. That hurts the entire team. So I know it can be hard to be like, well, what difference does it make? He's young. He's going to run the wrong routes. Yeah, but if you're doing it in practice so much that they don't trust you on the game field, those are the kind of reasons why. Because one tiny mistake from a young player can be the difference. And if you're not earning those snaps on the field to even make those mistakes, that's a bigger conversation.
Yep, for sure. All right, we have a couple more, and then we're going to get out of here. But I just saw this one in the chat, and it's purely speculative, and I know you love these kind of questions, Taylor. So, Old Man Mob, he's our guy. If Polk caught that touchdown last week, is Drake Maye starting this week? If they win the game, Jacoby throws the game winner, do they turn to him, or do they keep on the bench for at least another week longer?
I was thinking the exact same thing, honestly. Like during the game, I was like, if they win this, is Jacoby off scot-free? It's a good question. I think he would have bought himself one more week.
So do I.
I think the vibes are better. I think, like we said, if they lost against the Dolphins, significant changes would need to be made. Like that would be a turning point where it's like something's got to give. And as congested as the offense felt, at least that would show you like, okay, we can kind of push downfield because the drive itself wasn't bad. Like Jacoby was actually doing well. So if he caps that with a touchdown and they win, I think he may have one more week. But also, Jacoby was part of the reason it wasn't a touchdown.
100%.
So, I think that
I'm with you.
And then the end of the game, too, where Mayo said that he mismanaged it a little bit. Like, I think that was the nail in the coffin for him.
I don't think they necessarily wanted to play Drake Maye this week, and I don't think they wanted to do it unless they had to. And I think that was a little bit, a part of the plan here, where let's not shoo him in if we don't have to. So if they won that game, if Brissett had that game-winning drive under his belt, and they didn't have to put Drake Maye up against this great pass rush, against the 4-1 Houston Texans, who are the best team in the AFC South and one of the best teams in football, I don't think they would have, and it would have gave them an excuse to keep Brissett out there 1 week longer. Where if they went with Brissett this week after what happened on Sunday, that's not putting the team in the best position to win. That's not the what Mayo says, where Maye gives us the best chance now and in the future. He was saying that Brissett today. He mentioned Brissett's protection of the football and understanding of the offense kind of bought him some time as the quarterback, and was the reason why they went with him early. Tides changed, things shifted. It was a clear transition point, like you said, on Sunday. And so I don't think they had any excuse to not go to Maye this week. But I do think that, again, I'll say it again, I think it would have bought him a little bit more time. And it would have bought the organization starting Drake Maye a little bit more time as well.